What's up, powder hounds? I know your parents always told you the world is your oyster, but guess what? The ski hill is not. Here at Whistler Blackcomb, you have access to more skiable acreage than any other resort in North America. But sometimes, and almost always for safety reasons, ski patrol needs to close down certain areas. And it's not because we don't think you can rip them. Don't worry, I've seen your Insta. It's because we don't want you to get hurt, lost, or worse. So today we're meeting up with longtime ski patroller and Avalanche Forecaster Nicole Koshure to gain some insight on why terrain closes and how you can better understand signage, conditions, and all the work patrol does to make sure everyone gets those sick turns as safely as possible. Hey Nicole, let's cut right to it. We've got some of the best terrain going up here. Why would you folks ever want to close it?
Well, we close terrain for a variety of reasons at Whistler Blackcomb, and this can include things like hazards on the run, we don't have enough snow on the ski runs to actually open them, especially early season, or when we're actually conducting avalanche control work, and that's usually where we really want to make sure the message is clear to the public so that they don't end up in our blast areas where they could get impacted by the work we're doing. These signs are usually located in sort of access points on the hill, so if you're familiar with Spanky's Ladder, there's actually like an avalanche closure sign there that indicates when it's flipped closed that we're usually doing work back there. And then once that's complete, we'll flip those signs to open. We have a lot of sign lines here at Whistler Blackcomb on both Whistler and Blackcomb side, and so when we're doing control work, those will be flipped to read closed to try to limit access to those locations. Then our biggest tool is actually not opening lifts, so people can't actually get into that terrain accidentally. Sometimes those signage will also get closed if we have increasing hazard, so like a day like today where it's really sunny and warm. Places like Lakeside on Blackcomb where we get a lot of sun effect, sometimes the hazard goes up through the day and we really can't do anything to mitigate that. And so we have to actually close that terrain because there's potential for natural hazard to affect the public skiing there.
A lot of these signs have like OG stick figure kind of emojis on them, but some of them are just words. Should we go over some of the signs and really hammer in what they mean?
Sure, we can do that. So this is one of our avalanche closure signs. It basically is meant to read like a stop sign with traffic. So when you see it in this open position, red stop means don't go. Universal
no symbols.
Exactly. And so these are located on the sign lines I was talking about. When the sign lines are reading open, this will be flipped up like so. And it's actually still orange just because you are still going into avalanche prone terrain. So it's not green means go, but that's when the sign line's actually reading open. So we do have areas at Whistler Blackcomb that are considered permanently closed. So regardless of avalanche control, there's never any access. Usually it's because they present an overhead hazard to the public skiing below or difficult access points for us to actually get in there if you were to hurt yourself. And these are definitely a no-go for your own safety and the safety of the public.
It doesn't matter who you are and how awesome you think you are. You go into one of these zones, your pass is going to get pulled for the rest of the season. This one I feel like is why we have ski lifts. But surely it must mean something else.
Well, you'd be surprised how many people like to hike uphill even when the lifts are running. These kind of go in line with those permanent closure areas, so to make sure you don't end up in them, we have these signs out so you don't hike uphill. Or again, you may see them in unison with the closed avalanche signs when we're doing avalanche control work so people don't access into the area. And with these ones, a big problem we have is people kind of go 10 feet over and start hiking. If you see one of these in a general area, it means there's no hiking in that location at all.
Is there anywhere where you can hike up the hill?
There are areas where you can, and we actually have some signage that we use to designate those appropriate areas.
Oh, we should take a look at one of those. Ah, gee, my foot! No, I'm just playing.
So this is an example of one of the signs you might see where you actually are allowed to hike uphill at Whistler Blackcomb. Again, if we're doing control work, it'd be reading like this, so it's closed. When it's actually opened up, it turns into this nice green hiker man, which indicates this is an area where you are actually allowed to hike up. You'll see these at a lot of the access gates, like into the Blackcomb Glacier, Spanky's Ladder, etc., and anywhere we actually have designated uphill travel routes where people can actually ski, tour, and access the backcountry.
And here's where you can kind of put daily specific information?
Yeah, exactly. So if there was particular hazard I think we wanted to report on, we'll put that. Some of the signs actually have maps and they also show the permanent closures, so you can have a look at that if you're not familiar with permanent closures, say in Spanky's Ladder or something like that.
Green means good to go. Okay, so sometimes I hear that the alpine lifts are closed due to wind, but in the valley I can't even fly a kite. Like, how does that work?
Well, a lot of our storm systems that come through in Whistler come with a lot of wind, and often that's just up in the alpine, so we'll have strong to extreme winds up at ridgetop, which means we can't always run our alpine lifts, and our lift maintenance crew works really hard to get them going, but can only run at a certain wind speed. And also sometimes the direction wreaks havoc on which lifts we can run.
Sometimes early in the season, it's a run that is on the map, but it looks totally perfectly covered in POW, but it has a rope that says don't go. What's the meaning behind that?
Well, early season, it takes a fair bit for us to get our snow base up to be able to open all our terrain. So especially up in the Seventh Heaven area, when we first opened that, it's quite a moonscape if you've ever been up there in the summer. It's a big alpine area with big rocks, and usually needs at least a meter of snow to get going up there. So definitely want a decent snowpack here before you're charging down those runs.
Well, all right, thanks so much, Nicole. I guess we just need to realize the signs are up there for a reason. Patrol knows more about these mountains than anyone. So pay attention, obey the rules, and have fun. And stay classy. We'll see you on the slopes.